Welcome back, my magical star beings. In today's reading, we're going to be taking a look at what if people realized about you. So we are also going to take a look at how they see you after realizing these things and their thoughts and opinions after realizing these things. Then we'll take a look at zodiacs and initials for extra confirmation. So in terms of your pile selection, you can either choose your pile based off your zodiac sign or based off the pile you're most drawn to. So for pile 1, we have Leopard Jasper with Temperance. For pile 2, we have Red Jasper with the 3 of Cups. And for pile 3, we have Black Tourmaline with the 9 of Pentacles. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to pick a pile. The sponsored segment of the reading is about to show up in a few seconds, so if you want to support the channel by watching that, I would appreciate it. However, if you want to get straight into your reading, the timestamps are in the description box below, so then I'll see you there. I'll try to be as accurate as I can, but it is a bit tricky when reading for the collective. If you want something more personal, you can always check in with the psychic for a more in-depth description. Speaking of which, I tried a clairvoyant from Psychic Source, and yes, they're sponsoring today's video. Thank you, Psychic Source. I got matched with a clairvoyant through their site, and honestly, I wasn't expecting her to be that accurate. I gave her no personal info, just asked about my future love life, and somehow she instantly picked up that I'm already in a relationship. She literally said, "Why are you asking about the future without mentioning him?" I was literally speechless, but then I remembered that's kind of what I do too. Still a shocking experience to be on the receiving end of it. She described my future partner as someone who makes me really happy, with great communication and a bond that can handle anything. But the part that really stuck with me, she said she saw my future husband giving me purple flowers. A few weeks later, nothing happened, so I kind of forgot about it. Then we saw a tattoo promo on Instagram. My boyfriend sent me his ideas so I can book, and boom, a purple flower. Not a bouquet, but I'm definitely taking that as a sign. You can chat with gifted advisors however you're most comfortable, phone, video, or even text. Setting up my account on their website was super easy, and they have this quick little quiz that helps you find a psychic based on what you're looking for, whether it's love, past lives, energy readings, whatever. It made the whole process really personal and intentional. What sets them apart is the level of care and integrity. Only 2% of their applicants actually become advisors, so you know you're speaking to someone who's truly gifted and held to high ethical standards. And they back everything up with a no-risk guarantee. If you're not happy with your last paid reading, it's free. For a limited time, you can use my code Siren at psychicsource.com when checking out, or you can just click the link in my description box below at trypsychicsource.com/siren. You'll get up to 40 minutes with an advisor for just $19.80. That's up to a $240 value. You don't have to use it all in one session. You can spread those minutes out across multiple advisors to see who you truly resonate with. They also donate 1% of your purchase to charity at no extra cost to you. Oh, and yes, I do get paid for this promo, so when you sign up with Psychic Source, you're feeding a perpetually hungry, slightly dramatic psychic, that'd be me, and funding my next impulsive crystal purchase. As you can see, the channel needs some new crystals. But that's all for now. Thank you again to Psychic Source for sponsoring today's video. Pile 1, you chose the Leopard Jasper Crystal and Temperance. We're going to take a look at what have people realized about you. So spirit guides of pile number 1, please tap me into the energy of my pile 1s and what people have realized about them. What have people realized about my pile number 1s? What have people realized about pile 1? We have the Knight of Swords, the 8 of Cups, and the Queen of Cups reversed. with the Hermit. Let me just move these cards up so that there's space here. So immediately what I'm seeing here is this kind of like okayness with being alone. Like, you don't necessarily seem desperate to have people around you. It's like you're comfortable with being alone. You're comfortable with cutting people out of your life. And you don't need somebody in your life to feel fulfilled. Like, in fact, if you keep a person in your life, it's because they fulfill you. Not that you're looking for fulfillment in them, but it's because they're treating you right and you feel like you want them in your life. But there's something here about self-sufficiency and the okayness with being alone, not needing people in your life, but wanting them there. The Eight of Cups tells me that people have realized that you've walked away from many connections that just weren't fulfilling you, weren't serving you, people that just weren't good for you in any way. You're okay walking away from that. With the Knight of Swords next to that, maybe your cutoff game is quick. You give people one chance, two chances, and then that's that. With the Queen of Cups reverse, maybe you're somebody that can detach very easily after you cut off somebody, especially if they've done you wrong in some way, like once or twice. You detach very, very quickly. And with the Queen of Cups, maybe you're someone with a very big heart, but you don't like to be taken for granted. There's like this stern, strict energy here of like, I can't mess up with pile number one. If I mess up once, it's done for. So people just realize that you have this strong self-worth and that you can easily detach from relationships that maybe aren't serving you. I see this energy of you having patience with people, giving people grace when needed, but certain things you just won't forgive or accept certain behaviors, right? Not to say that you won't forgive the person, but you're not going to take them back in your life after they do you dirty. What people have also realized about you is that you're very observant. You clock things that people think you're not clocking. Like, someone could say something passive aggressive to you and think, oh, they didn't realize I said that. But then right after that, you stop talking to them and they're like, oh, they're feeling dumbfounded, like, oh, they did see that. You may not address it in the moment, but you're not stupid. You realize these things, you see these things going on around you. And you're not even going to give them a chance to explain themselves if they aren't deserving of it. What I mean by that, in the sense of, let's say you're not even friends with the person and they're already like acting weird. You're not even going to give them a chance to explain themselves because you don't F with that behavior. So that's what I'm talking about here. Of course, it doesn't have to be passive aggressiveness, but I am using that as an example of you just seeing and observing the things around you. With the moon at the back of the deck, maybe people have also realized that recently you've been a lot more private. You've been a lot more to yourself. Maybe you haven't been sharing things as much with people. You've been taking your time getting to know people with Temperance, taking your time opening up to people. People have realized that you're a deep person, but not everybody gets to experience that depth. It's kind of like, you know how a person says personality privileges? I'm hearing that. Like, some people only deserve those personality privileges after they've proven to you and shown you that they are trustworthy, that they care about you, that it's genuine. You want genuine, deep connections, not superficial connections in your life. There may be some secretiveness recently about your plans, about what you're doing next. You might also be somebody that is very intuitive. And I hear that you absorb the energies of others around you, and now spiritual people may realize about this about you, but other people may not see it fully, but maybe you say something's going to happen and then it happens, and even people that don't believe in spiritual things may witness that. So I'm seeing energies like that of like people realizing how intuitive you really are. Maybe you'll just dream something and your spirit guides will tell on people in your dreams. Like, stuff like that's what I'm seeing here. Of course, it doesn't have to resonate exactly to what I'm saying, but something about a strong intuition is coming up here. I also hear the word goal-orientated. So people have realized that you're goal-orientated. Maybe, again, like you've been secretive, private about your dreams and goals, and you've been planning towards your future, but also taking action. People have realized that you know yourself very well as well, that you're very self-aware. There's something about realizing what you're feeling based off your facial expressions. Like, I feel like this is somebody that knows you very well, or people that know you very well. Let's say you're annoyed, you make a certain facial expression that's unique to you. Let's say you're confused, tired, you make a certain facial expression all the time. This would show up in somebody that has like pattern recognition skills, and somebody that's kind of like observed you for a while now, where they know what you're feeling based off different facial expressions you make. And it's not just like a typical facial expression that everybody makes. It's like specific to you. You know what I mean? So we have the Eight of Swords. What if people realized about pile 1? We have the King of Wands and the Sun. So I'm hearing dynamic personality. And I'm also hearing that you're no longer looking to save or fix others. You're looking to save yourself or fix the problems within your own life. I feel like this is a pile that has done a lot of inner work on themselves. You're able to take accountability and responsibility for your own life and for your own mistakes and learn from it and grow from it. People have also realized that just because you seem calm and patient doesn't mean you won't also get fed up. So I'm seeing this energy of somebody that is very emotionally intelligent. And it's not that you hide your emotions well, but you know when it's right to show it or not. So, for example, let's say you're mad at a person. Maybe you're trying to be patient, graceful. Maybe you try to communicate in a way, but maybe you don't show much of your anger or take it out on the person because you want to be mature, you want to have a mature conversation. But let's say they're not listening to you and they keep doing that same thing over and over again. Maybe you will get fed up and show a little bit of your anger in that situation when it's warranted. Sometimes people are taken aback or surprised by your anger. Or when you have a conflict or fight with them, it's like they're surprised by it with the Five of Wands at the back of the deck, because they never thought that you had that side to you. But it's not that you have an angry side to you. It's just that they assumed because you were always peaceful, because you were always like showing up in an emotionally intelligent way, they assumed that you don't get angry, which is kind of weird to say. But some people have kind of like realized that you don't necessarily have an angry side, but you're human just like the rest of us, and you can also have emotions and be angry. I feel like somebody has realized that about you. And it sounds weird to say because everybody has emotions, everybody gets angry, but it's almost like this person or group of people assumed that you didn't, which is weird to say. And it feels like they don't have much emotional intelligence either. This group of people, they don't have much empathy. You know, like when somebody discovers empathy for the first time and it's like everybody's known about that. It's giving that kind of energy where it's like, oh, people have feelings. They're realizing it for the first time. So that's what I'm seeing. And this is someone that may have pissed you off in some way, that may have done something completely and utterly wrong, or said something completely and utterly wrong. And maybe you reacted to that and they were like, oh, people have feelings. There's that kind of energy showing through. I'm also seeing this energy of like you maybe being this very cheerful, happy person with the sun, maybe very positive, but it took you a lot of negativity to get to this state of positivity with the Eight of Swords. you're a very passionate person, but maybe it's taken a lot for you to get out of dark places in your mind where you kind of like had to learn to find a way to be positive. Maybe people thought that you were just like this positive, happy, vibrant person, that you've never been through anything. But then they realized that, okay, you actually had to go through certain things to get to that state of happiness or joy or positivity. You had to do the work on yourself. Healing as well. And that confidence and belief in yourself wasn't just always there. It took years of work, years of working through limited beliefs, just the way you kind of saw yourself. It took years to build in some way, and people thought that you just always had it, but they realized that it took work to get there. Okay, what else have people realized about pile 1? Something about your uniqueness, your originality. Okay, there's too many cards. I'm not going to take all of them. I'll just take the top ones. The Moon, the 2 of Cups, the 10 of Cups, as well as the Emperor. And I see the High Priestess reverse here. So maybe you used to not trust your intuition, doubt your own intuition with the High Priestess reversed at the back of the deck. There's also this energy of secretiveness showing through with the High Priestess reverse. Maybe you struggling to trust people. Maybe somebody realized where those trust issues stemmed from as they got to know you better, as they got to like see deeper into you, because I'm getting that this is somebody close to you. Well, this is a few people that are close to you that maybe realize why you have trust issues, where it came from. It's like they saw deeper into your emotions. This doesn't have to be romantic, but it could be. We see a male's energy here with the Emperor, but it doesn't have to be. Either way, I just see this person almost like being protective over you, or this group of people feeling that way and feeling like they want to show you that there are pure types of loves out there and that they're not going to hurt you, that you can trust them even if you kind of feel like you shouldn't, if that makes sense. Like, even if you don't believe their words, that's okay. They want to show you a different type of love that is deeper and more genuine. People have also realized something about your relationships. I'm going to see what this is about. I'm kind of seeing deer in the headlights energy. This is something about like taking the pain from previous relationships and turning it into something. I feel like art. I don't know if someone here is creative where it's like you're taking your pain from relationships, turning it into art. Because I literally see a vision of that. I'm hearing Lana Del Rey in my mind. You know how Lana Del Rey has like that sad girl vibe to her? And she's kind of sometimes like romanticizes toxic relationships. I'm not saying you do, but maybe you've been in like those kind of situations before. Maybe some of you have that sad girl energy, sad boy energy about you. And deer in the headlights reminds me of innocence, but also naivety at one point. But I feel like you're not that way anymore. I feel like with the moon, you're kind of becoming more aware of like people's intentions. But also, I said people's attention by mistake. So maybe you feel people's eyes on you, because I see this energy of like camera and lights on you, but you almost like want to run away from it. So maybe there's this energy of like people realizing that you don't like a whole lot of attention on you. It makes you uncomfortable. But I feel like people like staring at you, looking at you, watching you, even online. I also hear that someone thought you had a superior kind of attitude where you thought you were better than them. And they're realizing that you're not that way, that they maybe misread you. Even if it's not that specifically, someone is realizing that they misread you. So how do people see my pile number ones after realizing these things? How do people see my pile ones after realizing these things? The Hanged Man, the Fool, the Six of Wands. So people see you as somebody that is currently working on yourself. You don't claim to be perfect or healed in every way, but you are working on yourself. You are growing in some way. People also see you as a romantic at heart, but there's almost like this energy of pain and sadness behind that. I'm getting lover girl, lover boy energy. I'm also seeing a vision of like Summer Walker when she's doing like this interview. I think I watched the reel or TikTok this week of her saying that, where she kind of answers a question of what does it mean to be a lover girl. And then she's like, oh, it's a disease. Like she doesn't want to be a lover girl anymore. So maybe that is the case for some of you, if you relate to that. People also see you as a very wise, introspective person, yet also somebody that can be lighthearted and look to new beginnings, but also take risks. And your risks that you're taking aren't just like out of nowhere. It comes from a lot of calculation, planning, seeing things from both perspectives before you make a decision. You're kind of cautious before you take the risk and you kind of like calculate where you're going to go next. People see you as somebody that is going to create a lot of success from planning, from working on your goals, but also taking risks. But maybe you're also learning to take risks in love, because in order to have a successful, healthy relationship, we need to be willing to put our hearts on the line. But this isn't just like any kind of risk. It's a risk that takes wisdom with the Hanged Man, like a higher perspective. Maybe you're somebody with good pattern recognition skills where you know what person you're willing to trust. Like, you know whether to see red flags, green flags. You've become a lot more wiser. We have the Queen of Cups reversed, so people see you as detached. And also somebody that is okay with being alone with the Hermit. We did speak about that with the Devil. Okay, why is the Devil here though, Spirit? Okay, some people, now this may be a projection, I don't know if it's true, but some people see this as a coping mechanism you're using to kind of not shut off your heart, but kind of protect your heart. Some people think it's a coping mechanism that comes from pain. And although people think it isn't like the healthiest long term, maybe it's helping you right now. So maybe in the future, as you kind of heal and grow in a way, maybe you will kind of like find maybe you will kind of find a balanced middle ground of doing this, where it's not like you're cutting off people immediately or detaching from them immediately. Some people think it's kind of like a facade that's helping you right now, but it isn't really healthy in the long run to close yourself off to relationships. And it's not that you're doing that fully, because I said that you're open to taking risks. Maybe you're learning to trust again, but there is this energy of people thinking that it's kind of like a front to say that you don't care when deep down you do care. People are curious though if that's just their thought, if that's true. The Six of Pentacles, Page of Swords. People also see you as this type of person that kind of tries to figure out whether somebody is worth giving to with the Page of Swords, Six of Pentacles. People do view you as a generous person, but maybe you've kind of taken a step back and reflected on what fits into your priority, who fits into your priorities, especially if you've always been somebody that has been very generous and never pour back into yourself. And that can cause a sense of detachedness in a person where they start to like detach from other people for a while so that they can focus back on themselves and keep that attachment to people who really matter and reflect on like which relationships in their life are really filling them up in the same way. So maybe some of you are in that phase where you've kind of taken a step back from others and put your focus back on yourself. Not in a selfish way, you're still generous, but you're kind of reflecting on who is worth giving to. Okay, we have the King of Swords, the Moon, and the Two of Cups. There's something about following your head and your heart. But if your head and your heart disagree on a connection, then that is already a sign that maybe that's not the right person. Because I see this energy of like, okay, let's say my head says I should run. Let's say my heart says I should stay. Maybe that's just a sign that something's misaligned in this connection. So some people view you as somebody that moves through relationships in a genuine way, but maybe you've had a lot of strategic people around you and you've kind of had to learn to listen to both your head and heart because both have important things to say to you about your relationships. Now, some people also believe that because you have trust issues, you push away good connections out of a fear of getting hurt. And while it may be good to like notice red flags when they come up, some people think that you're not giving anybody a chance. Okay, so I'm going to remove these cards and take a look at the next question for their thoughts and opinions after realizing these things. What are their thoughts and opinions after realizing these things? The King of Swords, Six of Wands, and the Queen of Swords. People agree with the planning and strategy you're using in your career. And in fact, people kind of like want to match that energy and maybe help you get there. Or they're secretly clapping for you, wanting you to succeed. Even if you do have haters, I see a lot more supporters here in your energy. People that truly want to celebrate your wins and see you reach a place of success, whether it's in your goals, your career, successful relationships. But people agree with the planning you're doing right now. People also think you're making very good choices for your life right now that are going to lead to successful relationships, a successful career, and you reaching your goals. We have the Seven of Swords, the Four of Cups. So people think that maybe you've hid your dissatisfaction for some time, and now you're kind of ready to accept whatever you're dissatisfied, leave it behind, and go towards newness like we spoke about before. There's almost like this energy of like, if I'm not satisfied with a certain part of my life, I can't be complacent anymore. I have to do something to change it. I have to look at what I can plan to get out of that dissatisfied situation. And I feel like that's exactly what you're doing. We have the Queen of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, and the Eight of Pentacles reverse. So some people have the thought and opinion that you should find ways to work smarter, not harder, so that you're able to do more that has to do with your goals, your career, so that you can get more things done and be more productive during all your days. That planning is a very good thing, but you need to be strategic. That's their thought and opinion. They also think that you're viewing relationships from more of a grounded perspective right now. Page of Wands reverse and the Fool. And people also have the opinion that you're trying to find your spark and fulfillment for life again, where maybe you're being more open to try new things, or that you should be more open to trying new things, to taking more risks, doing the things you've always wanted to do that you know will bring you fulfillment and joy. Even taking risks within love and opening up your heart again to people. But some people also have the opinion that if you're not ready yet, you shouldn't have to force yourself. Right now is time to kind of like find your spark back. Do things that are going to bring meaning and purpose into your life and fulfillment in your life. Things that are going to kind of just light you up and excite you in a way. Because it's great that you're focused on responsibility, but some people think that you should be doing those things right now. Okay, so that was your reading. Let's go ahead and take a look at zodiacs and initials now. So let me know how this has resonated for you so far in the comments below. So I'm hoping to get zodiacs of your sign or the sign of those that are realizing these things. So now for initials. I heard some people even see you as a little bit more intimidating than they did before. So we have Libra. We have Gemini. Lots of air sign energy. We have Aquarius. Wow, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. What are the odds that that comes out together? Capricorn, Aries, and Scorpio. I also hear that you're not afraid of other people's judgments anymore. Okay, now we have the letter O, Z. That reminds me of the Wizard of Oz. So maybe I have like a lot of mystical people watching. X, K. I'm also hearing the word driven. So people see you as driven right now. BK, W, O, S. So here reminds me of like someone being like, so. Like, you know when somebody says something to you and you're like, so? Like kind of like a little bit of attitude. G, I, T, V, P, H, and lastly, Y. I do hope this reading resonated with you. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Also, if you'd like to sign up to my membership, I do post an extra video on there weekly. So thank you for being here, and I can't wait to see you next time. Pile 2, you chose the red jasper crystal and the 3 of cups. We're going to take a look at what have people realized about you. So spirit guides of pile number 2, please tap me into their energy and what people have realized about them. What have people realized about pile 2? What have people realized about my pile 2s? So we have the Devil card showing up upright. We have the 8 of Cups. And we have the Knight of Swords. With the 4 of Wands at the back of the deck so far. So someone here could be in the middle of a divorce. Or you could have just left a long-term relationship or some kind of commitment. But I don't think you broke the commitment. It's just that whatever this thing was, maybe it was in your life for a long time, whether it was a relationship, a job, something you were committed to, dedicated to, but now it's just not working out anymore. It just doesn't fit in your life anymore. And maybe there was some toxicity to do with this thing, whether it was a job, like marriage, People are realizing that you're no longer staying loyal to this thing that's only bringing you down in some way, or kind of like affecting your mental health in a way. The Eight of Cups next to the Devil can also represent letting go of bad habits, personality traits that maybe just aren't helping us anymore, that are maybe like flawed in nature, letting go of toxic relationships, a toxic relationship to ourselves, a toxic way we speak to ourselves, addictions. And you've decided to take action on this and do this as quickly as possible so that you don't change your mind later on. So maybe someone here like quit a bad habit or something like that. People are realizing that you kind of just did it and said, F it, let me just do it. Because maybe it's been on your mind for a while and you kind of just decided like now's the time to let it go. The Eight of Swords, and whatever this was, it felt like it kept you stuck in some way or held you back in some way. Then we have the Two of Cups. For some of you, this could definitely be a relationship, and the Eight of Pentacles reverse. Or something about your relationship to yourself. Maybe it was affecting that. Or maybe whatever this was affecting your relationships negatively or your work. So let's say, for example, you have a bad habit that you can see is like affecting your relationship and you decide to change that and work on that because it's not only holding you back in your relationship but in your own life too. And the Eight of Pentacles reverse is like something we know we need to do that we've been procrastinating on doing. So let's say I know I need to like get rid of a bad habit, but I keep telling myself tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. That's the energy I see here. It doesn't have to be a bad habit, but I'm using that as an example. So there's something about facing your fears as well. Facing yourself. Not coddling yourself or enabling your own bad behavior, if that makes sense. Like, let's say I'm like, okay, tomorrow I'll go to the gym. And I keep saying tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. And then eventually I'm like fed up with my own behavior and enabling my own bad behavior. And I'm like, no, I need to go to the gym today. Like, that's the kind of energy I'm seeing here if I had to explain it in an example. We have the Hanged Man and we have the Queen of Pentacles. I heard travel. Someone here has like been wanting to travel for a long time, but maybe work kept getting in the way. Your relationships kept getting in the way. Pets, kids, plans. It's like every time you wanted to go away and, you know, give yourself some kind of holiday, it's like something kept getting in the way for someone here. And if it's not travel, I see like maybe moving homes, something like that. And now it's like you're finally planning towards it or trying to figure out the time frame of when it could happen. For some of you, maybe it's a project where it's like you've been working on it, but maybe you've been a little bit perfectionistic where you haven't like set a date of like when you're going to finish. And maybe it's like you've been delaying it the whole time. Or maybe for others of you, it could be like setting a wedding date or whatever. I just see this energy of like whatever I've been not procrastinating on, but kind of like delaying in a way, I'm finally starting to actually set a date or a time frame of when I want this done by, or when I want to have this thing or do this thing, right? So it's like we're taking practical steps and being realistic about the timing, even if it takes a little bit longer with the hangman, but we're setting a time frame or a kind of due date or expectation of when we want this done by. Because if we don't, we might not see results with the Five of Pentacles at the back of the deck. What else are people realizing about pile number 2? There's something about realizing, like, you're self-reliant in a way where, yes, you can ask for people for help, and yes, people do want to be supportive, but sometimes people can't always be there for us. Let's say I'm going through a situation and I'm crying, and maybe my friend's busy in the moment, and I try to call her and she's not able to answer. I can't expect her to always be there for me. You know what I mean? Yes, it's a great thing to have that support from others when it truly means something. But in some moments, somebody doesn't maybe have the capacity to show up for us, whether it's like asking them for help with something, asking to kind of borrow money, whatever it is. It's like maybe sometimes someone can't help us in that moment, even though they want to. So it's kind of like we have to learn to rely on ourselves and, yes, ask for help and get support when needed, but not rely on it all the time. So maybe you've been doing that lately, accepting that sometimes things are a little bit difficult, but finding a way to make it work for yourself. I think a lot of you have been doing more things to bring you happiness and joy. You've been thinking about your own happiness, not about what everybody else wants from you and for you. Maybe this has to do with decisions you're making, where it's like somebody else wants you to make this decision. And you know you're going to disappoint them or let them down, but you're choosing your happiness first. Or let's say some of you have kids and you're constantly taking care of your kids, and one day out of the week you just want to do something for you to pamper yourself. That could be the case too. Whatever it is, you're just doing things for you that are going to make you happy at the end of the day. And of course, you can take into consideration everybody else's opinions, but at the end of the day, it's your happiness that matters. It's your life. So you're doing that for you, because if you neglect your own happiness, nobody else is going to know or do anything. You get what I mean? With the High Priestess reverse, even if other people don't necessarily agree with it, it's your life and it's your joy at the end of the day, and they're not going to be there to experience it for you. What people have also realized about you lately is that maybe you've been a lot more secretive with things to do with your children, if you have children, because the Empress Sun reminds me of children and motherly energy, but it doesn't have to be. Maybe you've been a lot more private about your happiness, secretive about the things that make you happy, or your successes with the sun, or even just things that are happening within your own life. Maybe you've been a lot more secretive. Okay, I'm going to take a look at the next question now. So, how do people see my pile twos after realizing these things? We have the Page of Pentacles. We have the Eight of Pentacles reverse. We have the Queen of Pentacles, and we have Justice. Let me just move these cards up. We also have the Hermit at the back of the deck so far. So people see you as somebody that is honest, somebody that takes into consideration other people's advice and everything, and you appreciate it. But when you're weighing out your options in terms of your own decisions, you're figuring out what feels best to you, what feels lighter, what feels more practical for you in the moment. Yes, you will take into consideration other people's truths, but your truth matters too. And I don't think people are taking it personal. I think they see it as you're doing what's most practical for you in that moment. People also see you as somebody that is nurturing, secure within yourself, confident, brave, analytical, reliable, supportive, but also self-reliant, thoughtful. People also see you as you're finally starting to do the things you've been putting off, where it's you're finally starting to take control of your own life in a practical way that makes most sense to you. People are also seeing you as somebody that is open to learning. Yes, you are very intelligent and you have all these great qualities about you, but you are human and you're always open to learning, growing, realizing where we went wrong before, what mistakes we made in the past, and fixing that. People are seeing you as humble because of that. Like, yes, you're intelligent, but it doesn't mean you know everything, and you're always open to learning new things. And even like learning from previous mistakes. And even if you did something wrong in the past and you realize it, you did what was best for you in the moment, and you did what you could in the moment, but now you know better, and now you can do better in some way. So, how do people see pile 2 after realizing these things? We have the Hermit, which was at the back of the deck. We have the Page of Swords. I'm hearing classy. People see you as classy. So, Hermit, Page of Swords, Ace of Wands reverse, the World reverse, and the 5 of Pentacles. There's something about you in some kind of situation where you could have said something that was truly on your mind. Because I'm hearing that thing from Ariana Grande when she said, like, I could have said this, but I think she said thank you next or whatever. I think she was talking about her exes, like she could have said something, but she didn't say that. So when I mention classiness and I'm hearing that, it makes me think that you could have said something mean, negative, rude, but you said it in a better way. You said it in a more classy way. You kind of just didn't let it get to you in some way. Or maybe you are always like that. There's something about the choice of your words where it's almost like you can say F you to a person in the nicest way. Because I'm seeing that shortened word for SYBAU in my mind's eye. If you don't know what it means, go Google it because I don't want to say it here because of YouTube. But anyways, there's just something about like knowing how to say F you to a person in the nicest way without like causing any drama, without showing your anger, but saying it to them in a way that is like stern, puts them in their place, but still you're not like stooping to their level in any way. Okay. So people see you as non-problematic because of this, is what I heard, or unproblematic. I keep hearing the word proficient, as well as analytical, like you don't miss little things. You have some kind of like attention to detail, and people are seeing you as somebody that is finally like stopping putting off your own happiness and your own needs to fulfill the needs of others. Maybe you've always been like this nurturing person, fulfilling the needs of others, but you've taken a step back and thought, what about my own needs in this moment? Like, I'm constantly catering to everybody else, being in service to everybody else, but what about my own needs? Maybe you've tried to kind of like stop neglecting yourself in some way. It's hard with the world reversed to let go of this completely, because maybe this is like some kind of changed behavior that's forming right now, where it's like you're forming some kind of new habit and getting used to it. But people are starting to see you in that light of like, I fulfill my own needs first, then I can take care of you. I don't mind taking care of you, but I need to be not running on empty. You know what I mean with the 5 of Pentacles. So yeah, people see you as planned, detail-oriented, nurturing, but putting yourself first and filling up your own cup so that you can overflow on others. Somebody that's classy. I'm seeing Charlotte York again. With a class, well, not again, but like classy again. I'm seeing like Charlotte York. She kind of dressed in a very classy way. Maybe some of you dress like that. And I'm also seeing in my mind's eye this one tutor I had when I was younger. She was also a very classy woman. Kind of like, she had like a boho vibe to her as well. So I don't know if that relates to anybody here. So how else are people seeing pile number 2 after realizing these things? The 8 of Swords. For some reason, I'm seeing like a color wheel. Like, you know, like when you go on like Canva or PixArt and there's like a color wheel. I'm seeing that for some reason. But it's like the colors are expanding in some way. There's more colors. Maybe there's something about you expanding your horizons in some way. Not limiting yourself anymore. Maybe this is getting in touch with creativity. Coloring your life. Coloring in your life in some way. Like I said, finding things that like are gonna bring you joy in the moment. And it's interesting that I saw that vision when I pulled the 8 of Swords. So this is about like getting out of your own way and truly committing to expanding yourself and your own horizons, not limiting yourself in some way. And committing to that all the way to yourself. You've been so devoted to other people that now you're devoting yourself to yourself, if that makes sense. And this may have come from like some huge wake-up call of like, when do I get time for my own self to like, you know, fill up my own cup? That's kind of the energy I see here. It's kind of like death of the old you, the new you is starting to like form. So people's opinions and perceptions of you are changing in this moment. I wouldn't be surprised if you like watch future readings and it's like completely different to before, like in terms of people's perception of you. So what are people's opinions and thoughts after realizing these things? So we have Judgment, the Empress, the Sun. People that are happy for you, that love you, that respect you, respect your boundaries, will understand this and they're happy for you. They're happy that you're doing something that brings you joy. Whereas somebody that isn't respecting your boundaries is just going to expect you to do what makes them happy and not care about your happiness and joy. But I feel like majority of people in your life are supportive of these decisions you're making for yourself. In terms of like doing things that are going to bring you joy. And filling up your own cup. We have the 2 of Wands, the 7 of Swords, and the Queen of Swords. But there are 1 or 2 people that are talking very negatively about this. Like, who do they think they are saying no to me? These are people that maybe don't respect your boundaries, don't respect what you have to say, don't respect you making your own decisions for yourself, saying, look, thank you for your advice, but this is the decision I've decided on. I'm not changing my mind. Those people are talking and complaining and being like, who do they think they are? But at the end of the day, their opinion doesn't matter because it's your life, it's your decision, it's your choice. As long as you're happy with it, they can F right off, in my opinion. We have the Queen of Cups showing up reverse. We have the 6 of Cups. We have the Death card. And we have the Ace of Pentacles. So people think that you're changing in some way. You're no longer that version of you were before with the 6 of Cups. And for some it feels a little bit uncomfortable, but they're happy for you. And it almost feels like they need to detach from that old version of you that they once knew and get used to this new version of you that's emerging. Because it's like you're kind of in the kind of in-between stage of like transformation with the 6 of Cups death, where you're not fully the new version of self, not yet fully out of the old energy. You're kind of in the in-between. And I feel like people are starting to get used to it and starting to get comfortable with this new version of you, or starting to, again, like detach themselves from the old version of you and start to love this version of you. People think whatever is best for you, whatever decision's best for you, you make that decision. I'm hearing you go, girl, even if you're not a woman. There's just something also about people thinking that even if you make the wrong decision, it doesn't matter. As long as it makes you happy, that's all that matters. As long as it was your decision at the end of the day. Because I feel like you guys have a lot of people that are always trying to give their input on what you should do next in your life. And I think maybe they've realized that they need to take a step back and let you figure out things on your own. Like, yes, they might care, and yes, they might be trying to protect you in some way. But at the end of the day, they need to allow you to also learn on your own. Like, even if you make the wrong decision, you learn through that. They can't coddle you through the experience or protect you through everything. Yeah, so that is what I'm getting there. So let's take a look at zodiacs and initials now. Okay, so let me know how this has resonated for you so far in the comments below. I'm hoping to get your zodiac sign or the zodiacs and initials of those that are realizing these things about you. Okay, so zodiacs, we have Pisces, we have Virgo. I think this might be my pile as well. We have Aquarius, we have Capricorn, we have Aries, and we have Scorpio. Okay, interesting. We have the initial P, I. Maybe somebody is kind of like investigating, doing a little bit of stalking on you. Maybe on social media, or trying to like figure out what you're doing right now. Especially since I mentioned you being a lot more secretive. I. Again. We have O. A. A again. Double I, double A, R. This reminds me of the god Ra. Maybe he's around somebody here. Maybe somebody likes Egyptian kind of mythology. Z, E, X, D, Y, E. So we see dye here. Maybe somebody recently dyed their hair. N, Q, and T. QT. Maybe somebody thinks you're a cutie. Okay, so that is what I have for you. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching and being here. If you like my readings and you want to see more exclusive content of mine, I do post an extra video weekly on my membership. So thank you for being here, and I can't wait to see you next time. Pile 3, you chose the black tourmaline crystal and the 9 of pentacles. We're going to take a look at what have people realized about you. So spirit guides of pile number 3, please tap me into their energy and what people have realized about them. What have people realized about them? There's something about you smelling really good. Someone here could have recently changed their perfume or cologne. Or maybe you're adding to your collection, or maybe you have like a signature scent. We have the Knight of Cups, we have the Four of Cups, and we have the Four of Wands. Ooh, the energy I'm seeing here is interesting. So I don't know if some of you are in a committed, healthy relationship, and maybe you're getting a lot of offers from other people, but you're turning them down because you're loyal to this one person. Or maybe there could be a person that's doing that for you. I don't know. That's the energy and vibe I get here. It's almost like if you are in a relationship, people are taking interest in you, but you're not interested in them back. You're fully loyal to this person, or you just have your eye on this one person. Or vice versa. Maybe that's your person towards you. Like maybe somebody tried to flirt with your person and realized, oh, they rejected me for this person? That's the kind of energy I'm getting here, which is taking me by surprise because I've never gotten a message like that in a reading before. So maybe people are realizing that you're off limits if you're in a relationship, or they are. And the loyalty that's there, the love that's truly there, where it's like you won't get bored of one another, you won't like just go outside the relationship to look for something else because you're fulfilled there. If you're single, maybe I could read this as like you rejecting certain people, because what I'm seeing in my mind's eye, what I used to do when I was single was like when I would go out with a friend and a man is like trying to like hit on me and I'm like, ugh, get away from me. But I don't want to like be rude. Then I'll be like, oh, my friend's my girlfriend. So maybe some of you like say you're taken even though you're not taken when you like want to reject the person softly and you just want them to leave you alone. Maybe you get like a lot of love offers, but like you're constantly rejecting people that you don't want. But maybe when it comes to people you do want, you're open to it. Because I'm seeing you like roll your eye because like somebody's trying to catcall you or hit on you or something like that. And maybe you reject people that you perceive as boring, unattractive, or not really your kind of like cup of tea or your type, with a Four of Cups. Or maybe it's like you can tell what a person's intentions are and you want to make sure their intentions are genuine. And if somebody just seems like, I don't know, like they're coming with the wrong intentions, then maybe you reject them. But maybe you're also looking for like a committed relationship and you don't want anything casual. So when somebody comes to you with like a casual vibe that they're not looking for anything serious, you reject them. So something about rejections in love and dating is showing up. If you haven't rejected anybody recently, maybe somebody wants to pursue you but thinks you're going to reject them and is realizing that you want serious relationships, and if they're going to come with like casual intentions, then maybe you're not going to allow them in. So Judgment, King of Wands, Five of Wands, and Page of Pentacles. Okay, so I'm picking up on somebody you were with romantically or sexually. Okay, and I didn't expect this message, but this is what I'm seeing clairvoyantly. So I'm seeing a vision of somebody sleep with you, right? This is so weird for me to say. I didn't expect like an 18+ message and they're like, oh, this kitty cat's so tight. Or, oh, this person's D is so great. Like, I'm getting that kind of energy. I don't know why. Okay, moving on from that. I also heard replenish yourself. Maybe you've been doing that recently, like kind of like in a way when you're bored and you have nothing to do. It's like you're finding interesting things to do that's going to replenish your mind, body, spirit. Also in your free time. So if you recently had a conflict with somebody you were close to, I don't think this will resonate with everybody, or just a conflict you had in general if it was not recently, people are realizing why you said the things you said in the first place, because I feel like somebody else witnessed the fight, and then went and told other people. And it feels like this person didn't understand why you said the things you said because they weren't like in the relationship you were in. If it's not like a romantic situation, it could be a friendship, but just any kind of connection you were close with, or close to. And it's like they didn't understand why you said those things in that argument, but now reflecting back on it, something has clicked and they're like, oh, I get it now. I get why they said that. But it's like they could only get it after like learning more things about you and about maybe this relationship. I don't think this person is malicious, but I think they went and told other people about it. Not in a malicious, gossipy way, but in a way of like, talking about the situation because it's on their mind. And then after that, gossip kind of followed because of that. So I think just be careful who you share your business to, like in terms of conflicts you have, because somebody can talk and they might not even be malicious, but that might spread gossip because of that. If you don't want people talking about your business, people are realizing that your argument had validity to it and that you were passionate about what you were saying because it meant something to you in this argument or drama. I see people taking your side in this argument or drama. I see some people taking the other person's side, but I see majority taking your side. Okay, let's check what else we can see here. What are people realizing about pile 3? Okay, I'm seeing a vision now, and this is so clear to me. I see you getting into an elevator, and somebody else is getting into the same elevator, and it's like they have their eye on you in some way. But either way, if you're single in a relationship, somebody is realizing they have the hots for you or that they have a crush on you, but they're kind of like too shy to talk to you, and they're eyeing you out, but they're not saying anything. And this doesn't have to be in an actual elevator, but this is just the vision I'm seeing to describe the energy. So we have the Fool, we have the Queen of Cups reverse, the Queen of Pentacles, and we have the Moon, as well as the Six of Wands. I also see somebody taking a candid photo of you. What does this have to do with realization, Spirit? What about the candid photo? This candid photo kind of gave somebody a heartthrob. I don't know if you posted it on social media, but there's almost like a feeling here of realizing sometimes the most perfect moments can come from not expecting it. Like, just like when you take a candid photo, you're not expecting it in the moment, but maybe you could be smiling, you could be doing something looking so beautiful, so breathtaking, or so handsome. And because you were not like all posed or trying to be like perfect in the moment, it captured something real and beautiful. And even if it's not a literal candid photo, this could just represent something that, like, sometimes the most beautiful things can come from the unexpected, can come from imperfection, can come from like moments where you're not like trying to make everything perfect. Maybe somebody had a moment like that with you. Or maybe you've been recently trying to embrace that energy of like embracing the imperfection, but finding the beauty in those moments. Just like, you know, when you take a picture of the moon, you're not going to capture all its beauty. That kind of energy is showing up here. Someone is surprised, but pleasantly surprised by something you did. And you know, when people do this, I don't know if I'm doing it properly, but I've seen it all over TikTok, and they're like, yes, like, I like that thing that you did, or that thing that you said. Someone is realizing that they took a liking to what you did or said. People are also realizing that you're very relatable, I hear. You're very funny, and that you're possibly an adventurous type of person. Very free-spirited, yet stable and responsible at the same time. You can be both attached and emotionally detached, depending on the person, depending on how well you know the person. Maybe you're more detached when people first meet you, but you're more emotional when they develop a bond with you. So there's like this duality you hold of like, I can be this and that at the same time. I can be fun and responsible at the same time. I can be detached and emotional at the same time. Different people are going to see different sides of you depending on where they're looking from. Just like the moon has like different sides to it. It looks different from all angles. I'm getting that kind of energy. Okay. I also hear that whenever somebody tries to interfere with your plans, sabotage things for you out of envy or jealousy, it backfires on them very quickly. I don't know if somebody like literally tried to do that or tried to ruin something for you and it backfired on them hard with karma. So people are scared to mess with you. People are intimidated by you. So how do people see pile 3 after these realizations? We have the 10 of Cups. People see you as the type of person they would want to be in a relationship with, or the type of person they would want to have around them because of your loyalty that I mentioned in the beginning. But people also like the kind of duality you hold, where it's like you can kind of be contradictory in all ways, but hold both energies. And people like that about you, like the nuance that you have to your personality. People think you're very deep, very intelligent, but also very loving and kind of sweet in a way. I feel like a lot of people look at you and be like, oh, I would love to have them as a friend. Or, oh, I would love to have somebody like them as a partner. So the moon, the 2 of Wands, like even if you're taken, there's still that energy of like, can I find somebody like that? Exactly like pile 3. So people see you as deep, emotional, yet also logical. And you choose which one you want to show at like any time. You can be a little bit withdrawn. And when people try to like force you to open up to them, it doesn't work. It has to happen naturally. If they try to force a moment with you, it feels inauthentic. It has to flow to that direction naturally, organically. So the Magician, the 2 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles, and Queen of Wands. You can also literally feel people's intentions when they're being strategic. You can literally feel when somebody just wants something from you. Like, let's say they reach out to you and they just want something, like you already know. People see you as somebody that sticks to the people you love. And you make them feel secure within the connection. You're definitely somebody people would want to create a connection with the Magician, 2 of Cups. They kind of see you as like a keeper, somebody they would want to like have in their life, or they would want to manifest a connection like yours, or a connection with a person like you. People see you as confident, a little bit chaotic, but also grounded. And that's what I'm getting from the Tower, the Hermit, and all these Pentacle cards. Although you're confident, you're also down to earth. So there's like this complex nature that you hold where it's like, again, you can be this and that at the same time. People also see you as somebody that is both beautiful on the outside and the inside. And that's very rare that you find that, because some people can be beautiful on the outside but have the ugliest personality. And you're not that at all. And I keep smelling this beautiful scent, so people think you smell really good. People also take note of your demeanor, your body language, and make their conclusions from that. And there's something about you just taking very good care of your physical appearance in some way. Like, you're always looking good. People will never catch you looking a mess. And even when you are like in more comfy clothes, you still somehow look polished and put together. Like, you could be in sweatpants and still look great, and people are wondering how. Like, when I wear that, I look like a hobo. That's the energy I'm feeling here. Okay, so next question. What are people's thoughts and opinions of pile 3 after realizing these things? What are their thoughts and opinions on what we mentioned, what they've realized? We have the 2 of Swords. We have the 9 of Swords, as well as the Hanged Man. There's something about them realizing, whoa, Like, I've always been like so scared of rejection, but actually this rejection is teaching me to kind of like take risks and not care too much about the outcome, because I'm seeing the fool in my mind's eye. So I guess this would be the people that were rejected by you in some way. And then there's something about some people realizing, whoa, like I've always been like worried that there's no like loyal people, like I can't trust anybody, like even after knowing them for a long time, I don't know what they're doing behind closed doors, what they're doing behind my back. But now seeing you make these good decisions to be loyal to a person kind of makes me feel a little bit less worried, a little bit less anxious about trusting people. Like, there are trustworthy people in the world. Not everybody's moving shadily or lying. And then if you related to that thing of what I said, if you're single and you reject people and you tell them I'm in a relationship, sometimes they wonder like, oh, if I say something to someone and they reject me, are they making an excuse or do they really mean that? Are they lying in the moment just to spare my feelings? They kind of wonder that. So, what are people's thoughts and opinions after realizing these things? We have the Queen of Wands, your loyalty, the Devil, the Sun, and the Ten of Cups. People have the opinion that you don't care whose feelings you hurt because you're sticking to your partner or you're sticking to your loyalty in some way if you are in a relationship. Or this could be like, you don't care whose feelings you hurt because either way, like, you could hurt their feelings now by rejecting them, or you could lead them on and hurt them even more. So it's better to just say, no, I'm not interested, than lead them on. People have the opinion of you that you might be very desired, very wanted by others, almost like lusted over, obsessed over by others. Like, people just see you as heavily desired in some way. Not just in a sexual way, but also in a friendship way with the Sun. Like, in terms of all relationships, people see you as somebody they would obsess over or desire to have around, where it's almost like that obsession would consume them in some way. But it's a nice kind of feeling. It's kind of like if I had to fall in love with you kind of energy, I would be obsessed. Like, that obsession would consume me. Or if I was friends with you, like, I'd want to stick by your side forever and that obsession would consume me, but in the best way. That's the kind of energy I pick up from people's thoughts and opinions. Okay, we have the Knight of Cups. People want to glaze you up, I hear. Like, hype you up in some way. Knight of Cups, Two of Cups, the Page of Swords, and the Three of Swords. We also have the Ten of Wands, Queen of Cups reverse, the Fool, Three of Wands, and the Hierophant. I guess I just see that a lot of people are curious about like how many people's hearts you've broken from rejection. I don't know why that energy keeps coming through. People are also curious like what you want in a relationship. They kind of wonder about that, like, what are your must-haves in a relationship? People also have the opinion that it's great that you're detached when you first meet a person, because when you show all your cards too early on, sometimes people can take advantage of that. And it can lead to challenge because of that. If you like show all your depth too soon or all your emotions too soon, people can kind of take advantage of that kindness. So it's great that you kind of like protect your heart in that sense. People think you're my ideal in relationships, love, friendships. Like, I would want a person like you around. What does a person have to do to get you interested in them? Like, what if I had to like, this is them thinking, if I had to like try to pursue you, what would I have to do to kind of impress you or to get you to want to be around me or like me back? That's kind of what they wonder. And they kind of like think about like what you would look for in relationships or love. They're kind of trying to figure out that. Some people think you're confusing. Some people think you're a little bit misunderstood. But some people think others haven't like looked deep enough or tried to read between the lines of you. So now I'm going to remove these and take a look at zodiacs and initials. So let me know how this has resonated for you so far in the comments below. I'm hoping to get these zodiacs and initials of you and those that are realizing these things. Also, I'm getting something about talent. Someone here could be a dancer. Libra. Aquarius. Aries. We have Leo. Virgo. I'm hearing I can be your nightmare and your daydream. Scorpio. We have J. T. Isn't that a singer or something? JT, I'm not sure. M. Q. Maybe someone here likes her music. E. Z. A. A again. I'm also hearing nothing stopping you. L. LA. Somebody can live in LA. Or AZ reminds me of Arizona. A again. So we have triple A. We have E. Maybe somebody has triple A in their name. C. We have D. I. And U. So that is what I have for you. I do hope this reading resonated. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to see more exclusive content of mine, I do post a weekly video every week on my membership. So thank you for being here, and I can't wait to see you next time.